Sometimes they do ask. So what do you do in that situation when they ask? Typically they'll ask an age range, but sometimes they'll just ask point blank, how old are you? Hi there, Jodie Bentley here, actor, producer, and career coach. And today I want to talk about the question you might get in this industry, which is, how old are you? Now, this happened to a client of mine, and she had an agent meeting over Zoom, and the meeting was going well, and the agent asked how old she was. And she gave an age range, and the agent pushed and kept asking how old she was. And my client felt uncomfortable, but inevitably answered the question, which propelled me to do this video, because that same situation happened to me when I first moved to Los Angeles as well, when I was at an agent meeting for a commercial agent. And maybe you found yourself in this situation too. And if you have, I want to hear about it, please. So post below in this video and let me know if you've ever been asked in any situation, how old are you in the acting industry? So first of all, is it illegal? Because that's tossed around a lot, right? Well, they can't ask that. That's illegal. Well, first of all, no, it is not illegal actually for agents and managers to ask that question. It is illegal for casting directors to ask you that question, or most likely producers as well. So why? Why is that? Well, casting directors could actually hire you, right? A producer can actually hire you. A director can actually hire you. Agents and managers, they're not hiring you. They're working for you. That is why you pay them a commission of the money that you make, right? They're technically working for you. So no, actually, it is not illegal for agents and managers to ask. It is just kind of known that you don't. You know what I mean? However, sometimes they do ask. So what do you do in that situation when they ask? Because typically they'll ask an age range, but sometimes they'll just ask point blank, how old are you? But I do recommend answering with an age range. That's a typical response, right? Most people can do an age range of 5 to 7 years. I kind of answer in a 10-year age range because I do get submitted for a pretty large range of age, just because of how I carry myself. I've always been cast older, but I also can play a little younger. So I usually give a 10-year age range, which some people don't like, right? So if they don't like, I'll start there. Then I'll go, okay, my sweet spot would be this, right? And then I'll give a 5-year age range, right, within that. So always answering with an age range is great. Now, I sat down with a commercial agent, as I mentioned, when I first moved to Los Angeles, and they asked me this question, and I answered with an age range. And they were like, no, you can't play that much of an age range. I was like, okay. So I gave my second response, which says, all right, my sweet spot is this. And he went, no, how old are you really? And I was taken aback, and I was like, oh, I don't really ever share my age, but this is my pocket. And he was like, yeah, but how old are you really? He's like, typically people the age they give is the highest range. The age they give on their age range is typically people's ages, is what this person told me. And I said, well, actually, no, this is my age. I did answer the question. And I felt uncomfortable about it, but he kept pushing and pushing and pushing, which is what sounded like just happened with my client. And I answered the question, and we went on and had a conversation about it. And then they didn't end up giving me an offer. Now, was it because of age? Was it ageism at play? Who knows? We don't know. I don't know. But I remember being uncomfortable in that situation. But technically, it is not illegal. Now, after that situation, I started to put some pieces in play to prepare myself, right? So I really invite you to craft a response to that question. I think most people would stop pushing when they realize it's uncomfortable. If you have any social awareness, I think people would stop pushing. Some people don't, in the case of my story and in the case of the story with my client. But I really invite you to have some fun deflection, something to say. Have your age range, and if they keep pushing, you can say, well, a lady never tells her age, or nope, I make it my rule. No one knows except my mama. Whatever. Come up with some fun way to deflect. especially if it's to an agent or manager. Now, a casting director, again, you don't have to answer this at all. It is illegal for them to ask. But in an agent manager situation, if they're pushing it, I just invite you to have 2 or 3 ways that you know in your back pocket you can pull out to deflect if they keep asking. Because you want to make sure that you're comfortable in the situation and that you have your own boundaries. Now, here's on the flip side of that. If they keep asking and you're uncomfortable, here's the thing. If they give you an offer and you sign paperwork, your age is going to be on there, right? Your team member will eventually know. And right now, actually, with the whole revamp of casting networks, which is LA Casting, New York Casting, Casting Networks platform, your agent sees your age and your manager sees your age on there. I've actually written to them to take that off. Because again, people you trust, your agent or manager is coming at your career, understanding how to open you up and how to position you and pitch you for an age range, right? Not a specific age, but right there blatantly in casting networks, your age is there. Casting directors do not see it. Your agent and manager see it. Again, one is legal, one is not. So I think that's why they're doing it that way. So look, your agent and manager will find your age. They will know your age. That is inevitable. It's just what happens when they're asking you in the moment. So again, I invite you to figure out an age range. I invite you to come up with 2 or 3 ways as a fun deflection to set your own boundaries. But I just wanted you to be really aware of what is legal and what is not. And the other question that this raised for me, it's a question my client asked, was, hey, has anyone been asked this question, number one, but has any male been asked this question? So what interests me about this is it ageism or is it sexism? Are men asked this question? So if any of my male clients or male actors in my community are watching this video, I would love to hear if this has come up for you. Because I think it's, as far as I know, it's come up with my female community and clients more so than male clients. So I'd be curious to know that. Because that concept of ageism versus sexism is a real conversation. And I think it's one that we do get to continue in this group and in our acting community. But I just really wanted in this video for you to understand the legality of the situation at hand and how you can answer that. And just want to acknowledge that how uncomfortable it can be to answer that, especially if you do have a wide casting range, depending, right? Just depending. Sometimes I'm seeing older, sometimes I'm younger, depending on who's cast around me as well. And I'm sure the same can be true for you. So going into any meetings where you know they could ask your age, I just really invite you to come up with that age range and figure out 2 or 3 ways to deflect in a fun, non-confrontational manner. And be prepared to share if it's pushed. But be prepared to share with your own boundaries. Or even saying, I'm actually really uncomfortable sharing this. But obviously, if we sign paperwork, you will see it. So I will tell you that I am X. But really make it known how you feel, right? Because again, if this is going to be a partner that you get to work with, you get to make sure that you're starting this relationship off right. And that it still feels good to you. And that you've stood in your power. So I trust this helps. Let me know what you think in the comments below about this. Let me know what you think about ageism versus sexism, if this has happened to you in your career as well. So as a community, we can support each other and hold each other high. All right, that's it for now. I'll see you later.